When I used to have my national sports talk show on gambling, I used to always say that you never bet good money on bad teams. And guys used to call up and say, "Oh, what a funny little phrase." And I used to tell them, I'm not kidding. Listen, a game like tonight, the Jets and the Patriots, if you paid me, I still wouldn't bet on this game. That's why here on today's video report, I'm going to break down the game and give you my thoughts on how to play it, the side, and the total. But bet it? Absolutely not. But I want to take it a step further. Look at this video report and consider it kind of like a public service announcement, because you could watch this game, but consider this. Those would be 3 hours of your life that you would never get back again. So instead, I'm going to give you some alternative programming choices. Do you realize you could tune in to Cinemax if you have it and watch John Wick 3 for maybe, I don't know, the 17th time? Listen, according to the internet, and you know nobody lies on the internet, right? 164 kills by John Wick and John Wick 3. That's more action than you're going to see with Cam Newton and Joe Flacco in tonight's game. HBO, I think the Signature Channel, a classic from John Cusack. High Fidelity, Jack Black, John Cusack. I mean, it's a great film if you're into John Cusack. I'm just saying. Or maybe if you're more of that sentimental type, yeah, you over there. I know you're one of those guys. You could go to the Lifetime channel. They've got one of those great movies, the Christmas Yule Blog. Now, I don't know what the hell it's about, but listen, every single movie at this time of year on the Lifetime channel and the Hallmark channel, they're all pretty much the same guy or girl. They don't like each other at the beginning of the movie. They encounter numerous obstacles, like the cookies got burned, the letter didn't arrive in time, the Christmas tree is misshapen, and suddenly after a 2-hour bloated movie with way too many commercials, they overcome all those obstacles, they find love at the end, and they finally share that kiss right before the movie ends, and you end up happy. Okay, maybe I've seen a couple of those movies along the way, but listen, maybe that's what you need tonight instead of watching the Jets and the Patriots. I'm just saying. Okay, let's talk about that quirky little trend that I have been telling you about all season long, because it was Money in the Bank yesterday, and that trend, for those of you that are newcomers that haven't left me to immediately check out to see when that Yule Blog movie, the Christmas Yule Blog, comes on tonight, Lifetime, FYI, it's 8 o'clock Eastern time, in case you want to set your DVRs right now. And that trend is, again, if you take a look at how the first generally 10 to 12 weeks of the regular season, I've noticed over the past 15 years or so, this little trend, if you could pick the straight up winners in the NFL, you will find that they cover the spread at somewhere around 80 to 85% clip. After about the week 10 to 12, which we're right there on the cusp of it, you'll find that that trend starts to decline, but 80, 85%. Well, so far, going into the next game in week number 9 here, they have gone 10-3. Let me make sure I've got my right numbers here. It would help if I had. Actually, this week so far, they're 11-3. 11-3 against the spread so far this week. No, I'm sorry. Guys, you have to excuse me. My desk is disheveled. It's a mess, and I can't even keep track of my own numbers here. So far this week, the straight-up winners have gone 10-3 against the spread. The only losers, Kansas City, Houston, and Pittsburgh. They won the game, but they failed to cover. So on the season, going into tonight's game, straight-up winners so far this year, 102 wins, 26 losses, and 4 pushes. And like I always say, if it was so easy to pick up straight-up winners, we'd all be mega millionaires. It's just not that easy. Now, the other thing that I have been mentioning to you is that coming into yesterday's action, the underdogs had been on quite a little bit of a roll. But this week, the favorites kind of came back. Favorites so far this week are 7-6 going into tonight's game. But you saw yesterday, again, 3 of those 6 underdogs won outright. The Bills, Miami, and the Saints. And something I alluded to yesterday, again, in the video report, I said that if you find an underdog that you like a lot, if the take-back money is worthwhile, it's worth making a smaller investment as a money line play. If you really think that dog is going to win outright. because you will find week in, week out that about 25 to 35% of those underdogs will win the game outright. And that's what happened yesterday with the Bills, Miami, and the Saints. And look at the take-back prices. The Saints last night took back $1.60. Miami yesterday, $2.20. But the game really, that was the best one to play if you were considering a money line play yesterday, was the Bills. Buffalo was getting a 2.5 to 3 points at home yesterday against Seattle. They won the game outright, and they were a juicy $1.40 dog on the money line. Overall, however, I can still tell you, on the season, after the previous 4 weeks where the dogs had gone on a nice little 21-14 roll, on the season, however, underdogs are only 11 games over 500. So there you go. Now, in terms of Monday night trends, I will tell you that favorites are 5 and 6, so the dogs are 1 game up. But the total has been the prevalent trend on Monday nights, where you have seen the under come through to the tune of 8 and 3. So just double checking my record. Yes, 8 and 3. The total is on Monday nights. Remember, we've had multiple Mondays where we've had more than 1 game. That's why you have such a big number there. Again, Monday night games, totals 8 out of 11 have stayed under the posted price. Before I break this game down, just a quick note yesterday and summing up this weekend. I've always said that I don't celebrate the wins, nor do I lament the losses, because I believe that the key to winning is to remain even keel. So when I was a genius on Saturday, because I thought that Florida would kick Georgia's ass, the 3-point underdog winning by double digits, I didn't get on here and say, hey, I was a genius. Yesterday, I had a play on Tampa Bay. I didn't even handicap the rest of the card. I looked at Tampa Bay and I thought, oh, Tom Brady in revenge absolutely was going to destroy New Orleans. Whew. It was like a mercy killing. That game was over in the first quarter. You knew it. I knew it. If you happened to be on Tampa Bay, wrong side, no ifs, ands, or buts. And that's why there are no guarantees in gambling. Look it up. You won't find guaranteed in gambling on the same page of the dictionary, if you can even find a dictionary nowadays. And it happens. And I've also always said that you have to have short-term memory deficit. You have to forget the losses. You're going to lose. You're going to lose big. You're going to lose multiple days, and sometimes you may lose multiple weeks. Again, remaining even keel. Listen, whether you win by 1 or win by 30, whether you lose by 1 or you lose by 30, it's a win or a loss. There's no gray. There's no in between. You move forward. You get to the next game. If you dwell on the losses, if you celebrate the wins, you are bound to lose focus. And I'm telling you, it's going to cost you money whether you win or lose and you celebrate or you lament. It inevitably happens. Hey, bad, horrible call last night. Great call in Florida. They cancel each other out. So let's talk about tonight's game. Again, that movie on Lifetime, guys, DVR it. It's 8 o'clock Eastern time. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Okay, listen, how do you bet anything but the Patriots here tonight? I know they've sucked here lately, but in terms of suckness, in terms of teams sucking, let me think. My journalism degree didn't really prepare me for that phrase. In terms of which team sucks more, wouldn't you say it would have to be the team that's 0-8 and 1-7 against the spread, and that being the New York Jets? A Jets team that has scored a total of 29 points in its last 4 games. A Jets team that is last in third down offense entering this weekend at 28% conversion rate. A Jets team that is last in the NFL in red zone offense at 28%. A Jets team that is not going to strike the fear in anybody's heart, starting Joe Flacco at quarterback. A Jets team that has lost 6 of those 8 games this season by double-digit margins. I mean, those are all good reasons, don't you think? Now, true, the Patriots are not exactly lighting the world on fire. They lost 4 in a row as well. And Cam Newton looks like a shell of the Cam Newton that was once one of the NFL's most electrifying players. In fact, you know, teams quarterbacked by Cam Newton. The Panthers and the Patriots have lost 12 of his last 14 starts going back to 2018. And look at this year. He's averaging 190 yards passing a game with 2 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. I mean, the Patriots have bigger problems. Their run defense is giving up 141 yards a game. That's the 5th most in the league going into this weekend's games. Their backfield has been devastated by injuries. Julian Edelman's out, hurting the passing game. But again, do you really want to back the Jets? So if I'm playing this game, I got to lay the points, 9.5 to 10, with New England. And in terms of the under, I just told you the Monday night trend is 8 out of 11 games have stayed under. In this series, 7 of the last 8 meetings have stayed under as well. So I would lean toward the under, although it is a very cheap price at 42.5 points. Of the two, I like the Patriots a little more than the under, but I think the Patriots and the under are the 2 logical plays to make in this game, although I do lean toward the Patriots a little more. And the biggest reason I lean toward New England is this. I don't think Cam Newton is totally washed up. I still think Cam Newton will finally put it together and overcome all the fumbles, all the interceptions, all the boneheaded plays he's made here of late. And the Patriots will snap out of this funk because they are the more talented team. New England would be the play. Good luck, everybody. Talk to you again tomorrow.